Chris, what do players think about criticism of Coach Rick? I mean, for as successful as he is, people still criticize him for not winning a national championship.
You know, a lot of people can look at many things when it comes to football. It depends on what your focus is. A lot of people, it's winning games and it's winning championships. Coach Rick looks at those things, and as well, he looks at the character of the men that he has playing for him. And I think that's one of the huge things about Georgia football, is that when people leave here, they won't just have a shiny ring. They have the opportunity to have a ring, but they also have the opportunity to be a man and to go out into their lives and to do things with character and do them the right way.
How big is it to get Malcolm Mitchell back on your wide receiver unit this year?
It's huge. That guy's extremely explosive. He's a big play waiting to happen, and we want him on the field, obviously. When he's out there, the defense has to account for him, so that means someone else is going to be open.
What's your opinion of the NCAA video game player likenesses? We asked people here this week, and there's a lot of guys who play the game, and I don't know if you did or did not, but where did you stand on, basically seeing yourself in a video game without the compensation?
Well, I'll just put it this way. There's no way you can tell me that a guy who is 6'3", from Georgia, has my skin tone, and wears my uniform, and has my number, is not me on a video game.
Right. When
he lines up in the same place. There's no way you can tell me that, and so that rubs me wrong. Now, the way we go about it, whether that's canceling the game or finding compensation, we need to look into that. Right now my job is to be a student athlete at Georgia, and so that's someone else's job, but they need to look at it and they need to figure it out because it's not right.
Chris, you've been involved in the student athlete advisory committee, right? Governance and that sort of thing. How much of a voice do athletes really have right now?
That's a great question, because it's actually changing, and as a lot of pointed attention has gone on the fact that student athletes have gone unheard in some things, the ability for the student athlete to speak up and be heard is growing, and I think the fact that it's growing is a positive, and that we need to keep leveraging that voice to get more and more influence.
Is it exciting? I mean, if this autonomy plan passes, there will be athletes with voting rights. How excited are you for that?
I'm extremely excited, but I'd also like to be cautious that we as student athletes don't think we know what every student athlete wants, and that we still continue to go out and pull these student athletes and find out what they really do think.
How much of that did you do when you were doing the SAC?
Tons. There are tons of conference calls, tons of emails, tons of going different places and meeting with student athletes, but it's difficult when people don't know that you're their outlet to get that information. Sometimes they don't know where to go with it.
You said earlier that you heard from some people about your short film. Did you hear from anybody involved with the original Star Wars? Either legalese or George Lucas?
I didn't really want to hear from someone from the original Star Wars, because that might have been a cease and desist or a lawsuit. So I was kind of glad that we didn't hear from. But no, we haven't heard from anyone from the original. We have heard from LucasArts themselves in the form of Twitter. They have tweeted us and followed us, and looked at our program and stuff, and so that's been cool. But nothing more than that.
Do you have any aspirations to be in NCAA leadership?
I've thought about that a lot, and a lot of people have asked me, do you want to be an administrator or do something in the NCAA, just because of the experience, and they'll be like, hey, you'd be like one of the youngest ones, and I'll be like, yeah. I do love working with athletes, and I do love looking out for other people and well-being, but I think the longer you're away from being a student athlete, the less you know about what they really want and need. I think being a student athlete, being in the trenches, being in contact with those people every day, I think that makes you more of an effective leader doing those things. And so, maybe that's something down the road, and maybe it's not for me.